Habdan is compared to its brother right here, Givaudan. Yes, from the same brand. Yes, the bottle look exactly alike, Mark. I don't know why you keep showing your subscribers this. They're both described as gourmand-based fragrances. Fragrances that smell like apple pie in a bottle. That sounds delicious. I love my apple pies in a bottle. Givaudan, that's a firm description of Givaudan. Habdan, not so much. Pull that back. Not so much. It's got some resins to it. It's got some darkness to it. So I can't wait to let you guys know what Habdan has in store for me. I'm going to try to describe it the best I can. Keep it tuned in and check out the review. What's going on, YouTube fragrance family? Welcome to another Robes 08 fragrance review. Today I'm going to put my nose on the house of Parfums de Marly. Not one of my favorite brands, but I'm kind of turning a little bit on this brand. This is part of the Arabian breed line. I like this Arabian breed line. No joke. This one called Habdan. And I just reviewed, if you haven't checked out Givaudan, my review on this bad boy, please go check it out. So Habdan, let's get into it. Let's take a look at the stats. Hit the shelves back in 2013. Bottle size is what you see in my hand is what you're gonna get, a 4.2 ounce bottle. Concentration is eau de parfum. Group, this is an oriental fragrance. Pricing, these bad boys are pretty expensive. And that's the one thing that kind of makes me step back about this brand. $320 online, USD. That's a hard sell for me for a brand. You gotta come correct. And this brand is kind of known as piggybacking some ideas from other brands, top sellers and things like that. So I don't respect that too much, but this one right here, I couldn't compare it to anything. So that's a good thing. Habdan, you're already a step above here. Before I get into the meat and potatoes of the fragrance review, I'd like to thank my partner, FragranceX.com, for Habdan from Parfums de Marly. You can utilize my code ROBES08 and get 15% off. They have a whole bunch of Parfums de Marlys on the website. The nose behind this particular fragrance is Guillaume Flavigny. Guillaume works for Givaudan. That's gonna come into play later into the fragrance review because they do utilize a note or a compound that is proprietary to Givaudan. Guillaume is known for a fragrance that is very popular in the women's aisle, Ambre Gris by Pierre Balmain. Now let's take a look at the note breakdown for Habdan. Up front we have saffron and olibanum, also known as incense. In the mid we have apple, agar wood, also stated in other websites as woody notes. We also have rose. At the base we have a papanax, maltol, which is important, and your amber. Major notes to this nose right here, we have the maltol. Yes, this thing is laden with it. Apple and the agar wood. Now let's take a look at application. With this one, you'd think I'd go weak because PDM is known for fragrances that last a long time and tons of projection. And this fragrance is described as a gourmand, oriental, very resinous fragrance. And really, I felt it was very light on my skin. And while wearing this fragrance, I felt like the best way to wear this one on the chest, 2 on the neck here, 1 on each side, and then 2 on the arms, inner elbows with a long sleeve like this. That would be perfect. You know, fall night, this thing is going to be great as far as that application goes. So I'm going to put one, of course, on the back of my hand just to remind me of this introduction of Habdan. And off the bat, immediately Habdan gives the user many facets. It reminds me a little bit as the comfort feeling that I was getting in Givaudan, and that's a good thing. It has warmth, it's comforting, it's spicy, it's a little fruity, it's woody, it's resinous, and there is a good amount of gourmandish qualities. So a lot of these PDMs that I've been testing out from from Givaudan to this, I felt like it has some complexity off the top of the fragrance, and this one does deliver in that aspect. The one thing with Habdan is I discovered quickly while wearing it, it was not as gourmandish as some reviews stated. It's a good mix of gourmand notes that meet some more resinous notes and darker notes to give you a multifaceted fragrance. So that is one thing that I felt like I'm not saying ill advertised, but it felt like, oh, it's going to be another apple pie fragrance. They all talk about the apple and the caramel and the cinnamon in this fragrance. So it's going to be an apple pie fragrance. It's just going to be like Givaudan. Why would I want to buy this? Well, hold up the truck here. My first sniff of this fragrance gravitates towards the spice of saffron. You're going to get some saffron in here. Well done, well constructed saffron, by the way, which meets the fruit of apple and a good amount of incense. That's what I get right off the bat. There's an underlying caramel-like sweetness peeking through the smoky incense. The resins in this scent keep the gourmand-like qualities at bay, in my personal opinion. I felt a bit of that apple pie-like qualities, but they're muffled by the resins in this particular fragrance, and it felt like the resins and gourmand notes were pretty much going back and forth to try to grab your attention, but none ever took center stage. And that's one thing that could be a knock off this fragrance, because it just doesn't show you enough of two aspects that you really, really like, and you're wanting one of them to win. They both almost cancel each other out, some of their real strong qualities, and at times Habdan kind of feels a little soft or a little thin as a fragrance. As a gourmand resinous scent, you're missing that backbone. Sometimes I was just hoping there was a little more oomph to this fragrance. Not that it's great for fall, but for these Canadian winters, it just felt a little thin to me. Once the initial introduction burns off, you feel the immediate personality of Habdan coming out, which is going to be that Maltol and that oud. Those two notes, those two are going to be your backbone in Habdan. Both of these are the major notes to my nose for very good reason, as they are pretty much your backbone. They're going to be there the whole time after that initial blast of the fragrance. So first and foremost, let's start with the oud. The oud here is a Givaudan synthetic. It's called Black Agar Givco 215. This synthetic oud gives the scent an ambery base, which you truly feel in Habdan. It definitely has an ambery base. With also olibanum, check, gives you that incense, that smoke, and also gives a scent a balsamic quality. Check, right there. So to my nose, this oud, or this Givaudan oud, doesn't really smell like any real oud in my personal opinion, but it's pleasant nonetheless, and it gives the fragrance a darker aspect to the whole idea of the fragrance. Now, because of that Givaudan proprietary oud, I almost kind of got tricked here, because I almost felt like the oud was a faint Cambodian oud because of the sweetness in the scent, the cinnamon, that apple pie vibe, the fruit. Cambodian oud can give you a fruity, plummy-like smell. I was a little off based on my initial impression of thinking this was a synthetic Cambodian oud. Obviously, it's not. A lot of those aspects is coming from actually the Maltol, which I'm going to get onto later. There's also woody aspects here. Obviously, there's a woody backbone to this fragrance, more into the heart. There is a creamy floral here, a fresh rose that has a minimal participation in this fragrance. I didn't feel like there's too much rose in Habdan. Now let's get into the real X factor in this fragrance, and that is the Maltol, which has been utilized before in great scents, such as, of course, Angel by Mugler, Flower Bomb by Victor and Rolf, to give scents a gourmand-like, caramel-like accord. But the big name drop I'm going to do today is Maltol is utilized in Baccarat Rouge 540. It gives it its signature cotton candy jam-like quality. So Maltol is the big boy in Baccarat Rouge 540, and I can't wait to review that fragrance now. In Habdan, the Maltol, which Maltol is known for, it's warm, fruity, caramelized, jam-like odor with aspects to cotton candy, strawberry, and a baked bread. It shows its stamp here in the scent from the get-go right till the end. The Maltol, when utilized in higher concentrations, you're going to get a cotton candy. Hence, of course, Baccarat Rouge 540. If you ever smelt that, that's straight up right there. Here, not so much as far as cotton candy. No, not at all. Here it's utilized kind of like Angel, where the Maltol gives this fragrance more of its caramel aspect, where a lot of reviewers state its fruitiness, its warmth, and its baked bread accord. As I I almost got tricked with this fragrance. I was like, there's immortel in this fragrance because immortel smells like baked bread. A little bit. It has a little bit of it in here. It's very much muffled, but it's there. But then, of course, I found out that it was the Maltol. So the Maltol in the Givaudan Black Agar dominates the heart to the deep dry down of Habdan, giving it its ambery, balsamic, woody tone with some light caramel sweetness. A very nice backbone to a scent. Once you start dissecting it, it's very interesting to see, you know, those two compounds really are the base of this fragrance. Overall, Habdan, not really an apple pie fragrance. It's not as strong as I really wanted it to, so that's a little knock to it. It feels like listening to music with not the proper headphones. It feels like you're not getting everything. You know, you're not getting the big, strong gourmand notes, you know, that sweetness, that big punch of gourmand notes, but you're also not getting the big, thick, resinous, dark notes that you're expecting from both worlds. It feels like they're both a little bit muffled, brought down a little bit, but overall, I've enjoyed my time testing this one, and I can see why people would love or even hate this scent. I really like it, but I don't love it. Now, recommended age for Habdan, I would have to say 20 plus. Best time to wear this fragrance, this is a definite nighttime fragrance. I just can't see this during the daytime. Maybe for the cooler months, especially casually, you can wear it at the daytime, but mostly a nighttime casual scent. Seasons, fall and winter strictly for me. Maybe spring nights. I felt like spring nights sometimes if it applies, especially, you know, overcast or rainy nights. Parfait. Beautiful for that. Development, linear, average, or complex. I would have to say average. It's not on the complex side of things, a very much high-end average. Work appropriate? No. Signature scent worthy? No. I think this one is maybe one of those special, because you're paying big money for this, special nighttime type of fragrances, not a signature scent type of scent. So let's get into my rating system. As you can see, projection, longevity, 7s across the board. I'm not the best in both. Projection, a little bit above average here. Longevity, 7, 5 to 8 hours. It struggled. It struggled trying to get to that 10-hour mark, which I was very much surprised with this fragrance, to be quite honest. Compliment factor, a very much average score here too, 6 bottles out of 10. Again, surprised that it was not that good as far as compliment factor, right? Narguilé, an apple pie fragrance, it's one of my top compliment getters. So if you have a little bit of that apple in a fragrance, and sometimes, you know, that saffron's in there is very nice, and a caramel gourmandish feel to the fragrance, you would feel that it would get more compliments. It is what it is. Sometimes the compliment factor is just a big question mark. You're just like, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Uniqueness, 7 bottles out of 10. I feel like this is one of the more unique Parfums de Marlys, because I can't put my head to anything that is compared to this fragrance. Pricing versus what you get. This is one knock on Parfums de Marlys. I'm going to give this one an 8. I really think that this, for the right person, hits the spot right there. I think it's a tough sell for the pricing that they ask for these type of fragrances, but this is good. It's a good fragrance. Versatility, 6 bottles out of 10. Not the most versatile scent. You know, I'm really think that this is one more of a special type of fragrance than something that you'd wear every single day. And that goes to smell. 8 bottles out of 10, a very solid 8. Like I'm saying 8, like strong 8 to almost 9 here. And that goes to an overall score, Habdan from Parfums de Marly, a solid one. I'm very happy with this purchase. This is one of those that I will be wearing, of course, after the fragrance review, which of course gets a good score. I'm gonna give this one 8 bottles out of 10. A very solid release from the house of Parfums de Marly. Not great, but very, very, very good. And that goes to buy, try, or pass. Habdan gets the try treatment. I feel like there is some downgrades in this fragrance. I feel like the resinous tones and the gourmandish tones, if you're a fan of both, you might want more from this fragrance, or you're expecting more from this fragrance like I did. I feel the blend's very good, well blended. I really liked dissecting this fragrance for the fragrance review, so definite try. Again, the price tag is a huge hit on these particular fragrances. So as always, I sincerely appreciate everybody that clicks on my fragrance reviews. Hit the like button, and of course, please let us know what you guys think of Habdan. Have you tried it out? Loved it, hated it, good, bad, and the ugly? I'd love to hear your take on this particular fragrance. Now, this Arabian Breed line, I've got Habdan, I got Givaudan. What's next for me? Comment below. Let me know what you guys think I should. I'm going to blind buy it. I think I've had, Givaudan's good. This one I've got a good experience with it. I'm going to get another one. It all depends on which one I think. You guys can let me know what you guys think I should get next. And as always, please remember, a great or poor fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely. Thanks for watching, YouTube.